book I read years and years ago is E-Myth by Michael Gerber. I highly recommend the book. Now, if you read this book, and if you talk to a lot of people that will say you should read this book, you'll be convinced that you need to immediately systematize your entire business and build processes around everything so that you can build a real business, which I'm a big fan of. The problem is that most of the time, systematizing your business is an absolute and total waste of time. And here's why. When you first get started in your business, the only thing that really matters is sales and marketing. You've got to go grow this thing. If you don't do that, you're over really fast. If instead you spend your time trying to write processes and employee profiles and systematize everything, and you don't spend almost all your time on sales and marketing, you'll never get to the point of needing your systems. Oftentimes, systemization is a really easy excuse for us as business owners to procrastinate on doing the stuff we don't want to do or that's painful, which is often sales and marketing and putting ourselves out there and growing the business and getting rejected. You should systematize your business later in the process. Now, if you're a $500,000 company and you're saying, I should systematize everything in my business, that too is absolutely wrong. Because when your business is $500,000, it doesn't look anything like it was at $500,000 when it's $1.5 million, or when it's $5 million. It keeps changing. So my recommendation isn't that you try to systematize everything too early. Yes, you put systems in place, rough procedures in place, and some things the procedures will hold up, but don't try to do everything. You just sort of do enough, because your business is this evolving organism that's going to change and change, which means the systems and processes are going to change. So within that first $1 million in revenue, you do need to start putting systems and procedures in place, but your goal is not to be McDonald's. Not yet. That's my personal opinion. Not in the service business. You want the processes and procedures. After you get past $1 million, it really starts to pay dividends to spend more and more time on systematizing, but not in the very beginning. The very beginning is all about sustainability, sales and marketing. Make a mess, create a disaster, fix it later. All you need to do is survive. Sell before systematize. Then, as you work yourself out of the many jobs and hats that you'll wear, then you focus on systemization. As business owners, it's so easy for us to all get so excited about the next shiny object, the next great service, the next new thing that we're going to do in our business. And that is me to a T. There are so many things I want to do. And I'm probably better than I've ever been at this, but I'm always wanting to push. One more new thing. Oh, if we just do this thing. As service business owners, it's so easy to add one more service offering, one more line within our business because a client's asking for it, because 5 clients are asking for it, because a few people are begging for it, because a few people are complaining you don't do it. But every time you add something, a service offering in your business, some service that you perform in addition to the other services you're already performing, there's a learning curve. There's a heightened expense to offer and provide that service because you'll be inefficient. You might have to hire some specialized people that are going to be expensive, and you don't have enough work to keep them fully busy. There's a lot of different reasons why this new service offering is a distraction. It takes away from what you're currently doing. It's expensive, and it's an investment in the future. And here's the problem. All of those things are a problem, but here's the real problem. If you are not 100% committed and ready to go, your marketing's ready, your messaging's ready, your team's trained, on and on and on, when you implement that new service, this is probably the service where you're going to drop the ball. And what I find, and I found it in every service business I've been in, you could be doing 5 things fantastic for the client, but when you botch it on the 6th thing, the new service offering, when you screw it up a couple times, they don't usually just fire you for that, they fire you for everything. So before you get the shiny object syndrome and you offer this new really awesome service that's going to change our whole business and make our lives better and make me rich, before you do that, remember that there are about 25 million things you have to do to execute that service perfectly so that it doesn't cost you clients and money. So that's today's reminder. Think about or think twice before adding another service offering to your business, and only offer it when you're totally ready to go full in on that service offering. Other than Gmail and Service Autopilot, the piece of software I use most, and it's free, is Trello, Trello.com. I've got a link here if you want to get a free copy of it. It is a fantastic piece of software, and it's free. So I use it to keep up with to-dos. I use it for brainstorming. I use it for all project work. I share it with other people on my team, so I can have what's called a Trello board. We can be working on a project, and I can share files, updates, information. I have probably 30 different use cases for this software. It's on my mobile device, it's on my Mac. It can be on any computer, basically any mobile device. There's an app for it. Check it out and think about how you can use it for your to-do list, for your daily action list, for your project planning, for your long-term goal list, for brainstorming. You probably have a bazillion miscellaneous ideas floating around in your head. On your mobile device, you can just type them in at any moment, or you can set up a means to email yourself, and when you email yourself, it'll automatically put it into Trello for you. Fantastic piece of software. Highly recommend it. I use it every single day, multiple times throughout the day. I hope you find value in it. I hope this tip is helpful for you. It's been helpful for me. It's helped my general attitude. And basically, it's that I like politics, and I like topics of politics and religion and money and all these different topics. Well, if you like that stuff, then you probably listen to talk radio and you probably read the news, whether it's CNN or Drudge Report or whatever. And so I'd look at Drudge Report, I would listen to talk radio, and it generally just beats you down. There's hardly anything positive. Almost everything is completely overblown. Almost everything mentioned that's going to destroy us all and end the world never happens. And the more I've read and studied, the more I've realized that the things that are happening now that seem so catastrophic and world-ending, we had the same craziness and worse in the 80s, in the 70s. There was crazy stuff going on back then. Everybody says the economy's going to end, things are falling apart, so everything's so horrible in the economy. The 80s, in the early 80s, the late 70s, was not exactly a rosy period of time. Inflation was crazy. You couldn't get loans. The interest rates were insane. We have so many advantages now. Unemployment was way up. All this stuff that's overblown, all it did to me was drain my energy, make me worry about things, possibly make me make bad investment decisions, possibly hold me back in business because I was afraid to do this or that because this or that was going to happen. Stuff will happen. There's nothing you can really do about it at the end of the day. This is my take on it. Whether you agree or not, I hope it's of some value for you. Stuff is going to happen. I think your energy level, if you're anything like me, will go way up if you refuse to look at Drudge Report, refuse to look at CNN, refuse to listen to talk radio the most of the time. I think you should be educated. I read books and I pay attention, but I really don't listen to this stuff much anymore. And with that, I highly recommend, to prove my case, a book that I read about a year ago. It's called Trust Me, I'm Lying. It's by Ryan Holiday. He's got 3 books out. I recommend all 3 of his books. He is a fantastic author. He's a young guy in his 20s. His books are great. This is a must-read book. Read this book, and you'll have a completely different perspective on all the stuff that you're paying attention to. Now, I'd already stopped paying attention to all this stuff before I read the book, and this book convinced me that that was the right move. This one little tip, if you practice it, will give you a lot more energy in your day, and you'll just generally be a happier person.